This content is brought to you by Scouts, the strongest Salesforce hub in the Nordics and Poland, bringing tech solutions to Danish banks.
The stage is yours. Please give a warm welcome to Mieszko Roz.
Thank you, Dorota, for this introduction. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I hope you can hear me well. So, welcome everyone. My name is Mieszko Roz, and I'm really happy to stand here in person in front of you rather than online on some remote meeting. So, today I want to present you the presentation how to make successful Polish or any project implementation. And I promise you, it won't be another redundant soft skills presentation with just the bullet points. I want to give you some real insights from the project that I had, from my experience, 6 years of experience, and also from my experience as a soft skills trainer. So I think I have something to say for you, and I hope that you will enjoy this presentation. So just to skip directly to the topic, Dorota already introduced me, so I won't be saying the same thing all over again. Maybe one thing from this slide. So I'm kind of analog person in an IT world, which also means that even during the Corona, I was the one that was going to the office whenever I can to see my friends. And it's also one of the things that I will mention here during this presentation. So, what we did the project for the customer. It was the Polish project, but the customer was international, and it is a big company from the manufacturing industry, specializing in some safety procedures and logistics. And we had a challenge to connect and unify the processes across 5 countries and multiple companies that were part of this big one corporate. So we rolled out to 5 countries already, but I will focus on one, especially on the Polish implementation that we did, because this is the one that is most important to me and where I learned some insights that I want to share with you today. And this project took 1 year, and it had 25 end users in Poland and almost 200 in all 5 countries. And so, how it all started? It all started with the cake, and it's a funny story, because this cake that I delivered to this office wasn't intended for these people on the photo. So the project manager from our company said to me, "Hey Mieszko, there is a rollout of Sales Cloud implementation in Polish office of the customer. So be there at 4 p.m. with the cake to say congratulations, it was a great project." So I get there with the cake in my hand at 4 p.m. to learn that people from Sales Cloud implementation are already gone. They go home. And those are people that are from the service part of this customer. So I, by accident, gave cake to other department and spoke with them. And actually they were asking, like, "Hey, this Sales Cloud implementation that you did, is there something for us for our service part?" And I said, "Oh, you know what? I'm the Service Cloud Consultant. I can demo you how the field service work, what we are implementing." And I showed them the demo, and they said, "We want that. We want that right now." So it created a project for us. Another project for the same customer. And one more thing is, and because it was so spontaneous, we had a couple of challenges. And okay, so here are those challenges. No, not there. Sorry. The challenge is, it will be later on the slide, that we had very limited deadline, and we had to do some steps immediately. And I learned a lot how to communicate with the customer during that. So the key outcomes that I had from this project are, and this is the agenda of today's presentation, is to create relationships. Don't keep yourself at the distance. Right now we live in the remote world. It has a lot of possibilities. Like right now I'm working for the Dutch company in Poland. So this is something that was created by remote days. But on the same time, we sometimes forget that we are not living in the VR yet. And another thing, remote is fun, in person is where amazing happens. And be an active listener. I will tell you a bit about active listening today. I think a little bit more that you can learn just from Googling it in 5 seconds. And don't skip crucial steps. Something that I will show you during this presentation also is some crucial parts of the project that happened and some points that seems obvious, but I saw many times that were skipped during project implementation because we were rushing, because we didn't have enough time or resources. So I will show some crucial steps that did happen. And what happened is that we delivered Polish project to the Polish customer on time. And they were quite happy about that. So the first one, created relationship with customer. So one of the things that I want to say, become genuinely interested in other people. This is a quote from the book by Dale Carnegie. This is almost 100 years old quote, and it's still valid. I think even more valid than anywhere in the past. So really, we should be interested in our customers, interested what are their pain points, what they need from us. And we need to create this relationship with them, show interest what they are doing, hear to them, what are their challenges. And we found a common ground there because I spoke similar language to them, because we talked a lot about what isn't working in their current ways of working. They are paying a lot of money for the new solution, Salesforce solution. So let's make it great for them. It's not only, like getting the process that they already have, the business process, and put it into the Salesforce. It's the great opportunity to evolve. And this customer really understood that. And we spent a lot of time to discuss in person what's important for them. And this is a quote by myself. Good consultant is asking too many questions. And I think the good consultant, Salesforce consultant, should be annoying to customer. It's better to ask 5 questions too much rather than 5 questions too little. And when they are, like, oh my God, why is this guy asking the same question for the time? This is the time that you might succeed because you make sure that you have all the insights that you need and everything that is crucial for the goods implementation, not just for the implementation. And it's very important in this whole process to identify informal leaders. And here is what is important in this presentation. Why it was important for me to be on site, why it was so important to talk so much. Because it's very easy to get to the project, get the brief, like this guy is the product owner, this guy is project manager, speak to them, and this guy, he's paying for that. No, there are many people in the organization that have very different roles. And one thing that I wanted you to understand from that, what I'm trying to say is the loudest person in the room doesn't have to be a leader. This is something that the trap that we are falling very often. Like there is one loud guy who is very annoying, who is maybe kind of rude, and we are trying to please him, and we are trying to do everything to what he's saying. But there are many people in the room that are maybe quieter, maybe not telling this much, but they are very important to how this company operates. And we need to listen to them. And we need to identify who is really in charge there, who is the crucial part. There are many team roles. People might have more than one. And this is model of team roles that I learned from, I think, great book by Robert Zich. szef w relacji z zespołem, jak proces grupowy wpływa na psychologię teamu. I read this book, I think twice already, and I really recommend this one to understand how teams work, how they work in cooperation with their leader, and what are the roles. There is a formal leader, of course, but there are many, more than that. There is socializer, for example, guardian of the standards who will be always, like making sure everything is in the documentation. There is informal leader, and this is the person that has a lot of respect in the group. It might be not the leader on the paper, but he is very important. People listen to him, and when they are, like on the coffee break, they will speak to him, ask, what do you think about that? What do you think about this guy from Nextview that came here? So it's very important to identify those people. Those might be like product owners. The informal leaders in my project weren't the product owner or project manager. Those were different people. Because we did field service implementation, and this was, for example, one of the technicians. Guys that were working in the field weren't even speaking English language, and this was one of the most important guy in the project. There is always a jester, the person who is, making a lot of jokes, maybe a lot of complaints, is very loud, and he's just making noise. It's also important to identify this person and maybe, try not to listen to him a lot. And eminence Greece, this is like person who likes to be in shadow but have the power. And especially during the tough times and conflicts, it's very important to understand who this person is, to find him and make sure that we have him on our side, because he likes, to speak in the wings and tell some things like, I don't like this project. I like the things that were before. And this kind of person will never speak up in the public room. He will always, try to stay silent. And when we identify this person, it's very important to make him speak up in front of group. Make him exposed, because they don't like it. They don't like it at all. And when they are exposed, they are not so confident, they are not these tough guys, and they will lose, this ability to gather people against us. And scapegoat is the person that's to take the blame for everything. And so this is very important to identify those people. And I had a pleasure that in my project, the product owner on the customer side was also aware of that. And he helped me, see this guy, he is just a jester. Let's, not make him part of the calls. Let's not make him part of the decision process. We'll just inform him about results. And see, this guy, this technician, he's the most respected from all others. Let's train him first, and then he can train others and convince to the new system. So we sat with this product owner, and we identified all those crucial people on the project. And it helped them a lot to convince them, to make them on our side, to not focus on the jester that was telling a lot on the preliminary meetings, and then we just make him sit on the side and to not be so loud anymore. And yeah, if the thing goes wrong, don't let gray eminence be away from spotlight, as I said. And remember about cultural differences. I had this pleasure of being Polish consultant of the Polish project. I understood Polish culture, but it's not always the same. When I was on Dutch project or German projects, those people are a bit different, and it's very necessary to understand how they are behaving, what is important for them. On the German project, when you were 1 minute late for the meeting, they were annoyed. And for the Italian project, for example, they were always 15 minutes late. So it's very important to understand those kind of differences and don't forget about that, and will not change their behavior. We need to, just go with the flow. And be honest. Honesty is it's what was very important in this project, and not in this project alone. So what happened? We had a very short deadline, and I already saw it was maybe October. They wanted to go live at the end of January, and I said, whoa, that's quite a short time. We have to do a lot of things, and we have Christmas and New Year's Eve in the middle. So there are a couple of things that need to happen, for example, in December or maybe November already. So I was maybe not the most diplomatic guy, but I just from the point blank, I said, like, come on, we need to start tomorrow, and we need to do this thing in 1 week, this thing in 2 weeks. So we identified all those crucial points, and we created those milestones and said that, okay, even if this project is ending in 3 months, if this particular thing won't happen in next 2 weeks, we are already screwed. So I was very honest, and they were grateful for that, because it helped us create a reasonable project schedule and the reasonable project scope that we can deliver in the limited time. So I saw that many times that we are over-promising, like, yeah, don't worry, we'll make it fine. And it's not always matter of how many consultants you put on the project. Some things just need to happen in particular order, one after another. So here we cooperated with customer and made sure that it worked. So we decided where the milestones need to happen, and we won. We made it on time, not even 1 day of delay. And so don't hesitate to speak up. Really, it's, in my opinion, better to be, to tell inconvenient truth rather than convenient lie. And remote is fun, but in person is where amazing happens. By that, I mean that remote rooms don't have those talks like in the wings. Everything just happening on the main channel. One person is speaking, others are listening. After the call, you're disconnecting and you're not talking to those guys anymore. In the office, we had this opportunity to sit and drink coffee and speak with people. And then I identified some people that I wasn't aware, like this one guy that was silent on the meetings and then went to me on the coffee break, and we're speaking like for 15 minutes, and he said very valid points about the project. So this person would have no, no possibility to speak up on the remote project. So we tried, not only in the Polish part, but in all countries, to have this policy of being in the customer office once in the week. And once in the week, we spent the full day. In Poland, it was me. In Netherlands, it was my colleague. And we were talking constantly to the customer. We were able to, identify many things that we weren't aware of during the project start. So I know it's amazing to work from any place on the earth. Probably you can deliver project. But I will say that it's very important to not lose touch with the customer, to not lose touch with the reality, because we are still flesh and blood. And we need to understand that, because it's also part of biology. Like when we are in person, it creates some level of intimacy. It's better to create, meaningful relationship with the customer when we are in person, when we can speak, shake hands, everything. Then I see human in these other people, and they see human in me, not just, consultants that they are paying invoice for. And so it also enables more people in the room. In remote, only one person speaks at the time. Here, everyone can speak up. Even now, like, you're listening to me, but you can ask me questions. You can then, after this presentation, come to me and ask additional questions. We can have a little conversation. It's not possible in the remote world. So, and people tend to stick to assigned roles. In the remote, it's easier to, be behind the facade. Like, somebody named me just a consultant, so I will be the consultant for the rest of the project. Somebody just named me this guy from sales department that will listen what Nextview is saying, what Mieszko is saying, but in person here, I can, as this guy did, he came to me on the coffee break and we speak more about the project. So it's easier to, be not only on your assigned role in the real life. And it enables those conversations in the wing. And I think most interesting stories happens there. Even, like conferences like this, all the networking, this is why we are here. So there's this quote by Harrison Owen. Harrison Owen is the guy who created open space technology. If you've ever been to the open space conference, this is the guy that invented that by, he was just attending other conferences and decided that coffee breaks are the most important part of the event. And be an active listener. So another point that I wanted to say, it's active listening. I heard about that a lot. And I think people think they know how to do that, but not always do that properly. Because active listening, guys, it's not about, nodding your head all the time, imitate that we listen, telling, I feel you, really, I was in the same place. No, it's not about, looking for the solution right away, right in this moment. It's not like be the quickest consultant in the room, I know what is the solution. And especially, it's not about you. And it's not about your Salesforce expertise. Because, customer already bought Salesforce solution from us, already is paying for you. He knows that you will do a good job. He knows that the Salesforce will deliver a good technology for them. Right now, this is this place, when you're sitting with your friend that recently broke up with the partner and they just want to tell you what is the pain that they are feeling and what are the problems. Then you're sitting, listening, asking, questions about that, not, turning this conversation around and telling about your past relationships, for example. So active listening is not about you, it's not about your expertise, because I know you have it, and customer also knows that. And he'll learn in the follow-up meeting when you can propose some solutions. But right now, during the active listening phase, we are the one in the shadow, just listening and helping this other person, the customer, to tell as much as possible. We just need to ask proper questions and push this conversation in the right direction, not steal the thunder. So it is about be fully present. And that's why I think it's very important to be in person. It's easier to be present in person rather than online when somebody is writing on Facebook and I'm thinking what I have in refrigerator and maybe something else is happening, like my dog is barking. So in person there's only us and customer. No, nothing else matters. And paraphrase and reflect back. And paraphrasing is a very important tool that we might use. And it's probably you know this one and you are using that, but I would say how important is that to just rephrase what customer said in other words to make sure that we understood him. It's not only saying okay, I understand what you told me, and then learned that they meant something totally different, because this is how language works. Not everything is obvious, and there are double meanings to everything. So we need to paraphrase, when they finish, it's good to say oh, so you meant that you need, I don't know, you need notification 1 day before for technician. Yes, that's what I meant. Great. Okay, so we are on the same page right now. And listen, to understand rather than to respond. It's very easy to fall into this trap also. They are saying something to us oh my God, I need those notifications 1 day before. And you're immediately thinking, whoa, I will build this amazing flow that will, send notifications 1 day before. And it's a trap. Don't do that. Don't focus on solutioning right away. There will be time for that. and don't think about, the best response possible, because, as I said, it's not about you. So it's not about how good you will respond, it's about how much you will understand from what other person is saying to you. So, and I think this is the most crucial trap in the active listening, that we are trying to solution right away. We are already thinking about the best response possible. Don't do that, please. And so, please, try this active listening not only in your project, but maybe in your life. I think it's a great thing to do, to be an active listener, and you can practice this all the time with your friends, with your customers, with your colleagues, with everyone. And as a summary, some key events on the project that happened. So we started with we identified the challenge, like with this, like short deadline that we have. We identified the project scope that is needed, and we knew what to deliver. Then this is very important. We created dependencies and milestones because, for example, we are delivering field service product, and we needed customer data first. We needed locations, customers to whom those work orders will be created. So we knew, okay, if we are going to send technicians to the field for the work orders in January from like February 1st, then we need to have customer data prepared before. So this is kind of milestone that we needed to identify. After that was, of course, project delivery. And during that, when we identified those, I'm saying identify a lot. So informal leaders, we knew informal leaders, and we delivered training and onboarding to them first. Like we gathered the first dispatcher, the first technician, and we showed them solution. What do you think? What do you like? What you don't? And when they said, like, it's really cool, it will help us, then we knew we can proceed. They gave us some feedback to us, we implemented this feedback, and after that, we prepared them to help us train others. Because other technicians weren't trained just by myself. They were trained by myself and the technician, the lead technician that I trained before. And I had him on my side. So the rest of the technicians, like non-English speaking people who wanted just, to work in the field. And they were on our side because they saw like, oh, Kamil is cooperating with this guy from Nextview. So I think he knows what he's doing. So then the rest was very easy. And after that, we did that user training. We again implemented feedback from the rest of the end users, and we had development freeze. And this is, I think, the most skipped milestone in the project that I saw. Like, I saw that many times when we are saying go live is on Friday. So then on Thursday evening, you're delivering one more notification, one more change to the layout, one more change to security. What wrong could happen, right? So I saw that many times, and I said, no, not this time. If you want to go live on February 1st, then week before, I want development freeze, and I want this couple of days that we have to import data, then to create the data that is needed for the Monday, because if technicians are going to the field on Monday, the appointments needs to be ready before the weekend and needs to be scheduled to them. So we did like soft go live a couple of days before. We deployed everything after hours, did some smoke testing, make sure it works, and then on Friday evening, I was sitting in my home with calm mind because I knew it's already tested, and the Monday go live will be a brief breeze of air. So development freeze is very important. And when they said like on Thursday, oh my God, we forgot about something, I said like, okay, we will deliver this as part of hypercare after the go live. But right now, let's proceed with the validated package with what we already finished. And then go live. We made it on time. So maybe I'm not, maybe I'm reinventing wheel for you guys, but I saw many times that we are just forgetting about, the simpler things, because we did it just like 5 times, 6 times, and it's right now maybe too simple for us sometimes. We think like it's too obvious. Sometimes we need to remind to ourselves what is important, even the simpler tasks. So one more time, create relationships, don't keep yourself at the distance. Be there in person, even once a week, please. I think it's very important. It will make your projects a lot of easier when you get to know each other, when you will have those conversations in the wings, when you will be able, to feel the vibe of the customer. Are they enjoying this project or not? It's important to be there. Be an active listener. Practice this a lot. And forget something about your expertise. Forget sometimes about your expertise. You can use that on the follow-up meeting. But when you're doing workshops with them, sometimes it's better to stay silent and focus on their side, because we are delivering project to them, not for ourselves. And don't skip any crucial steps like development freeze or identifying some milestones and dependencies between tasks. It's very necessary. Sometimes there is this rush, like we need to deliver something as soon as possible in sprint 1 to show some results to customer. And usually this is why we have a lot of bug fixes in the last sprint. So sometimes it's better to start slower, but steady. And just a couple of words where I'm from. I'm from Nextview Consulting, and we are using design thinking a lot. We are design thinking-led consulting company, Salesforce partner. We are operating in 5 countries: Netherlands, Germany, Poland, Sweden, and Czech Republic. And we have almost 200 enthusiasts of Salesforce. We are very passionate about that. And we are very passionate about design thinking and making, all that happen. And what you see on the right side is a design thinking center. Those are our offices in Netherlands and Germany. Those the places where we are doing workshops with customers. Also with this particular one. And we are trying, to leverage from that as much as possible to create, this space for good knowledge sharing. And that's it that I had from my side. Thank you for listening to me. If you have any questions, I didn't touch even the solution, the technical solution, the field service that we did. If you have some questions, you can ask right now or later during the coffee. Thank you for being there. Thank you for listening.